Hey y'all, what in the world is an anti to do list? Stay tuned if you want to see how I create mine. All right, y'all, welcome back. Welcome for the first time if you're new here. My name is Ashley, and I'm going to show you how I will create this anti to do list. So, I have a few supplies. I'm showing you the Tombow markers that I'm using here. I'll make sure that I link the colors below. I also have this Fudenosuke style marker, a white jelly roll pen as always, and a ruler. That should be everything that we need unless you feel like you want to grab a pencil as well. But we're going to go ahead and get started. I'm kind of like mapping out where I want to write the word anti, and I'm going to do that in this Fudenosuke width here with that black Fudenosuke brush pen. And I'm doing kind of like this bouncy brush lettering style. And we actually did this style in our letter with me on Patreon this month. So if you're interested in lettering, then hop on over to Patreon, because I do a lot of lettering, and then depending on which tier, you get stickers just like the ones you see on that self-care side as well. But I'm going through and I'm doing this kind of bouncy lettering style just for the word anti. And you see I made a little mistake there, and I love it when I make mistakes because then you can see how I would fix them, and that's a perfect place to use your jelly roll. That's why I never leave the house without my jelly roll pen, like honestly, y'all. So you see I got rid of that, and then I'm gonna let that dry and then kind of go back in with that Fudenosuke again and just kind of tighten it up. But now I'm gonna do the words to do list with those colors just to add that pop of color. And I'm doing it in kind of this like faux bubble letter style here. And I'm just pressing down and making these thick letters, and I'm trying to make them all the same height, same width. And I'm making even the width of the actual ligatures the same as well. So you see me kind of going back and tightening things up to make sure that everything is the same size and thickness. And I'm using the same colors that I've been using all month in this Bujo for January. So it was kind of this blue, kind of cool blue tones, and then the pop of like warmth was this turquoise color. As you can see over on the other side, the self-care side, those stickers are available on Patreon. But also, if you just want to see how I draw those roses, I have a video of me setting up the entire January spread, so you can see that I actually just drew those roses into the spread, each spread for each week before this. And I just want to talk to you a little bit about what an anti-to-do list is. So as you can see, or if you've been following for a little while, then you know the theme for the month of January for me is self-care. My patrons actually chose this kind of like reflection self-care theme, and it's called Floral Resilience if you're interested in the stickers. But since we did the self-care ideas on the other side, and we're kind of doing this like taking care of yourself theme, I felt like an anti-to-do list actually fell right on along with that thought pattern. And I wanted to share how I would create mine here. Of course, you're not going to have the same things on your list that I have, but just for setting it up, this is some good inspiration for how you might want to just set yours up. So an anti-to-do list is a list of things that you do not want to do, but sometimes you might have to actually make a list and remind yourself that you don't want to do those things. So things that don't make you happy, things that don't bring you joy, things that bring you discomfort when you're not supposed to be or uncomfortable. You just write those things here on your anti-to-do list, and I think it's a great form of self-care. So you can see I sped it up just a little bit because it took me about 5 minutes to draw those boxes and use the ruler and everything. Y'all know I typically don't use a ruler. And so I'm just going in with that black Fudenosuke again, and making kind of like this syrupy looking border for a shadow. And that's kind of in line with how we've been doing the boxes this month. So I just wanted to carry that on over. Even though this list will be kind of evergreen for me, it won't just be something that I look at in January. I just thought it'd be nice to kind of end out that theme with this list because it'll be the last list of January. So now I'm going to go in and I'm going to label each one of these boxes. Now I'm doing mental, physical, and emotional. So I'm going to have things that I'm not going to do anymore that affect me, in a bad way, mentally, physically, or emotionally. But you might want to label these in a different way. And I'm actually going to put these on my Patreon at all levels. So the cheapest level that you can get on my Patreon is a $3 level, but I'll place this over there too, so that you can take part in this self-care and create your own list. But I will leave my titles off so that you can put whatever you want to put up there. So you might be doing like house, business, travel or something. So I'll leave the areas of concern blank for you. But I'm going to go ahead now and I'm just making these bulleted lists, and I've kind of sped this part up just a little bit because it looked a little boring to me to watch these little dots be made, but I'm making them in this kind of scratchy way to kind of match the vibe of the theme. And I'm gonna go in here and start writing some things down that I want to do in each area to that I don't want to do anymore. So like I know that I want to start getting my manicures and pedicures more often. So I'm gonna write skip manicures and pedicures because I don't want to skip them anymore. But that's just the vibe. It's a self-care type of list that will be evergreen for me, but you can kind of fill yours out all the way if you want to. And as the year goes on, I'm going to add even more things to this list that I noticed that I'm doing or not doing that I want to make sure that I'm doing the opposite of that. Things that bring me joy, or things that things that don't bring me joy, or things that cause me discomfort emotionally or mentally when I realize that I'm like holding space for things that really should not be my concern, or they aren't just safe for me mentally or emotionally. Those things will go on this list to help me remember not to take part in those items. So I thought this would be something nice for everyone to kind of think about, and I'm thinking about it in the realm of self-care. But if you've ever done an anti-to-do list before, then put below what you kind of some of the ideas that you have, and other people might find that they're relevant to their lives as well, and I might find that it's relevant to me too. But yeah, this is the idea. I hope you all like this, and I hope this is helpful for you, because I just really want everyone to indulge in things that they enjoy. And I know a lot of people are going through a lot now and thinking about a lot of things now. And a list like this is good to remind you to keep the forefront of your mind placed on things that are calming to you. And as you can see, I'm writing things down like I'm not going to blame myself unnecessarily. I'm not going to overthink. I'm not going to forget my vitamins. That includes my medicine as well. I'm probably need to write a separate one just for that one. I'm not going to pretend to be okay and just, keep a smile on my face and pretend like everything's fine when I'm not, feeling well or even feeling comfortable in a situation. I'm not going to ignore my feelings. I'm not going to downplay my happiness. And when I write that, I'm just thinking about the times where I was super happy, but maybe the other people in the room weren't happy for me, and I let that affect my mood. But it benefited me more to indulge in that happy feeling. I'm going to enjoy things, basically. I'm not going to fight against taking breaks. I know a lot of us might have that issue. I literally, if I sit down and I feel like I have a break, my mind kind of tells me like, no, this cannot be right. You clearly forgot something. Go back to an actual to-do list to figure out what you need to be checking off. And so I want to indulge more in break time. So I'm going to write that here, because when I write things down too, y'all, it really helps me to actually like take them seriously. Like just the thought of it might not register as well, but like seeing it written down and seeing that I was serious enough to actually write it on paper will help remind me and take it seriously. And I hope this type of list does the same thing for you. Just remember that I will be creating a sheet that will be on my Patreon so that you can fill in your list as well. And I'll keep, again, like I said, the titles there empty. I'll just put a line there probably so that you can fill in what you need to actually focus on for your anti-to-do list. But I think that, this style of list is pretty easy the way that I've created it. I just used a ruler and created those boxes. But I think it's really pretty when you don't use the ruler as well. It gives it that kind of like doodly, unfinished kind of look. And then that like syrup outline. I call it a syrup outline because it reminds me of the syrup brush in Procreate. And that's the brush that I used to create the boxes. So when I went back and drew all the roses and all the boxes and all in Procreate for my patrons, then I actually used the syrup brush. So if you see me referring to that little style, or you hear me referring to that as syrupy, that's because there's a brush. That's a free brush in Procreate called the syrup brush. Okay, so that's all I could think of for now. And like I said, this list will be evergreen for me. I will fill it out as the year goes on, because I'm sure there will be some other things that pop up that I just will realize, oh, I don't like this. I don't like how this feels, or I really like this and I want to keep doing it. So this list will get filled in even more. But I just wanted to add a little bit of deco here at the top. And I thought some easy and kind of carefree deco would just be these little brush pen leaves. And so I take the brush tip and very gently just make the stem. And then to make those leaves, I vary the pressure and I go kind of like press hard and then let up at the end. And it makes these little leaf shapes. And I do these all the time. You'll kind of notice them in the rose bouquets on the left of the page too, but they're all through this spread. And then just to kind of tighten these up a little bit, I'm going back in with that Fudenosuke brush, and this is the hard tip brush, and I am just using the tip, which is really easy with the hard tip, to outline. And I'm doing a really loose outline so that some white space comes through as well. I just like that look. If you don't, then of course outline a little tighter. But it's just giving it a little pop and kind of outlining the leaves, because you see I have some that are kind of overlapping other leaves, and it kind of details which one is which and kind of helps it pop off the page a little bit. Okay, so now I'm going to take the actual color Tombows and make these little berry shapes. Obviously they're not like berries because they're turquoise and dark blue. But I like to make these little shapes to kind of fill space. I didn't want to go overboard and, draw the roses again, because this is not part of the January spreads. It's just going to be something evergreen that I kind of fill in as the year goes on. But I just wanted to feel a little bit more of that space, and, just to my liking. However you want to do it is fine. But let me know if you like this type of video by actually clicking the like button, and also subscribing, and maybe leave a comment to let me know you're here too. So this is my anti-to-do list. I'll post on Instagram as well. Don't forget to check out Patreon, and I will see you guys later. Bye, everybody.